Now I'm just getting ready to go to Doncaster Toy Fair, or at least to Doncaster in preparation for Doncaster Toy Fair, which I'm going to be wandering around tomorrow. But it occurred to me that when I wander around Doncaster Toy Fair, I do not normally record audio as I'm going. It's a relatively busy environment, so after about 2 minutes worth of research, I got these. And these are Boya ultra compact 2.4 GHz wireless microphones. Now, I have no idea whether this is a good idea or not. I found about one video on them, got them off Amazon, arrived next day, bish bash bosh, very good. But I just don't know whether or not they're going to do what I need them to do. The idea is that you plug this bit into your mobile phone, and then you have your receivers on your lapel. They're called Lavalier microphones, and then you speak, it transmits it wirelessly to the phone, and lo and behold you get video footage and audio footage, which should in theory be better quality than just trying to speak and hoping that the phone picks it up by itself. I have no idea if they're going to work out of the box, but I'm going to try. I would have got a much cheaper pair, but I thought if I'm going to try it, I might as well try it with a moderately decent pair that look like they're vaguely branded and that other people have actually heard of, because as is often the case with Amazon, I find what you tend to see is a lot of companies who seem to be selling exactly the same thing but have just slightly rebranded it, and that's so generic. I just don't know whether or not the hardware is going to be any good. I'm sorry the camera is bouncing around a little bit. I've not really rigged for this sort of video, but I thought if I'm going to plug it directly into my phone, I can't really shoot with my phone, so I'm just trying it like this. So a little leaflet here, quick start guide. So these have noise cancellation. It's probably, you might be able to see it there. There's a little button on the side of them that gives you noise cancellation, but it probably would wreck the sound quality to some extent, so I may well not use that. So there's an on-off switch, and they've got a little bit of sort of a wind cover. I'm not sure that's the right word for it. Wind break, wind cover, something like that, just to try and block out background noise, basically. And apparently you can also turn the clip 360 degrees, which is of use if you want to hide the light. Now, I'm not going to be on screen when I'm using these, particularly if all goes to plan. I'm just going to sort of try and attach them to my good self. But I'm just wondering whether or not over the course of getting all this stuff out to show you, I will then be able to quickly attach them to my mobile and do a little bit of separate filming on that, so you can actually hear the video quality. I've no idea why every time I touch the desk it's making the camera bounce. So I have to try and keep my elbows off the desk, I think. Bear with. I mean, as with anything else, if you've used these sorts of things before, let me know in the comments, and I'd be interested to hear any of your experiences, because I think it's 9 hours of battery life for these. But I mean, I literally just Amazoned and Googled, and a bit of silica there, thank you. Googled, and sort of, well, no, in fact, that's the complete fit, but I didn't even Google. So there's one of them, a little bit closer for you, if the camera would actually focus on it. Come on, camera. Hello. There's a problem with webcams, that they're only good up until a point. Perhaps it's time I retired this one, I don't know. It's not really that great for close-in work, unfortunately. So, it's kind of okay. I just don't know this brand at all, but as I say, I just wanted to go for something that looked like it was vaguely branded and vaguely unique, because that suggested that perhaps they make it themselves, which could be a better bet than any other options. But I think getting two in the box is pretty standard, as I understand it. So I think if you were interviewing someone, for example, you could then put one mic onto them and keep the other for yourself. I don't actually know how they charge. I mean, obviously the transmitter will, or sorry, the receiver, I should say, this is the receiver, will pull in power from my phone. So if I plug this into my phone, and that should hopefully wake it up. I'm really hoping that my phone's... Now that's an interesting thing to think about there, is that my phone's case is just about allowing that to plug in, but I hadn't actually stopped to think about that as a concept. So I think it's probably in enough that it's making contact, but if you had a particularly chunky case, you'd have to actually stop and think about that, because as you can see, there's a bit of an air gap there between the connector and the... in fact, I'm not even convinced that that is on, because either it needs charging itself. Let me just try a little experiment here, because this is why I'm doing this now. I mean, I'm literally just kind of like doing my washing before I go to Doncaster. But okay, that's interesting though. So even with the case off, it's not lighting up. I don't know if it's supposed to. So that is kind of interesting. Okay. So what I may need to do is actually, perhaps I do need to charge this separately first, and just see what happens, because it's got that as a charging point. But I thought this was more of a sort of a pass through for other things. So it comes with one lead, two leads, and I've got there's USB-C. I think you can get this in Lightning versions as well if you've got an iPod. God, I'm old. iPhone. I'm old and tired. So the USB-C slot there for you as well. So I think my first step is probably going to need to be charging these up. Let's just see if it will come on out the box. That's the noise reduction actually, isn't it? So let's try that. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, that's interesting. That's on. Let's take that off and just see if it actually, because they might think they've done a quick start guide. I'm not entirely sure what that means. There's a little clip here. Ooh, where's my focus gone? Come on, focus. Thank you. So there's a little clip on the back here. So that's where you can just sort of clip it onto you, and it does rotate. So that's quite handy. I think one of the other videos was saying, you know, it's useful to be able to do that, because it just gives you full flexibility in terms of how you want to attach it. You can do it vertical, horizontal, and so on, and just kind of turn it around. So that's of use. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just figure out why that isn't talking to something else. This is probably more to do with my phone setup than anything else. But I might also perhaps just need to see if I can charge this separately. So I will I'll try and get it running, and then I'll try and do a separate sort of run of it, and just see if I can actually record some audio for you. Okay, right. So the receiver was a little bit slow to wake up. But I have now got a little blue light on it, so I am now speaking to you via the Boya Lavalier mic rather than my phone's mic. So testing 1 2 3. I'm not going to go wandering around the place. I'm purely interested to see if this is picking me up, so that you can get an idea of what this wireless mic sounds like. Now I am at point blank range, so I'm hoping it should be doing a fairly good job, but this is more of a technical test from my point of view to see if it's going to pick me up when I wander around Doncaster. I'm not quite convinced yet that it's going to stay active, but at least I now know that it's definitely supposed to have a blue light on it when it's working. So let me unplug the USB, and then you can hear, for comparison purposes, what my normal Samsung A53 microphone built in sounds like, and this should hopefully be not as good as it was a few seconds ago. So just a quick one for me, and as much to say, I'll see you all in Doncaster soon, hopefully, or at least a few of you perhaps, and yeah, stay tuned to see what I end up picking up and seeing as I wander around. Cheers for now.